Hi there, you are listening to ListenUp, the KidSpirit podcast. My name is Maya Mesh. I am your host for today. I am a KidSpirit alumni, and I'm so excited to be here with you. A little bit more about KidSpirit. So KidSpirit is an online nonprofit magazine by and for teens everywhere to tackle life's big questions. Today, I am joined by the lovely Satya and Jack, and we're going to have a conversation about courage. So, Satya, would you like to start by introducing yourself?
Sure. I'm Satya. I'm 12 years old, and I've been on the KidSpirit Ed board for about 9 months now. In my free time, I like to read and write and practice sports, even though I'm not good at them.
Thanks so much, Satya.
Yeah.
How about you, Jack?
Yeah, so my name is Jack. I'm also a KidSpirit contributor. I'm a freshman in high school, and some things I like to do during my free time are play basketball, play the guitar, and sometimes write.
Thanks so much. So now you guys are introduced to these two lovely humans. And today we're going to talk about courage. So KidSpirit recently did an entire issue devoted to courage, and a theme that was chosen by our network of teens and contributors from around the world. A super interesting thing about this issue was that it encompassed the very real experiences of courage from kids in our community. And some of the contributors shared their stories about extremely serious, sometimes life-threatening experiences, and others explored day-to-day forms of courage that we can all relate to. So I wanted to start by asking, can you guys think of a time where you needed courage in your life? Jack, do you want to start?
Sure, thanks. So one time in my life when I needed courage was when I tried out for my 8th grade basketball team. I never tried out for a team before, done anything like that, so it was a really new experience for me. And so many people have been practicing basketball their whole lives, and everybody was like used to it except me. But I'm really glad I tried out, and I think the courage to do that really helped me get better at this sport and just learn new things about my life.
Thank you so much for sharing that. And what about you, Satya?
Sure. So at my camp, I did a lot of outdoor rock climbing, and I was really scared because you had a rope that was attached to your harness, and the other end of the rope was attached to a person on the ground, and that's what was keeping you from falling. So it took a lot of faith on my part to put a lot of trust into my belayer, because she was a high schooler and she did not seem very focused on her job. So I was kind of scared that she was gonna let go and I was gonna die. And but in the end, it all worked out, and I was really proud when I finished.
What was the moment where you realized that you can trust her?
I think it was when I went a little bit higher than she could reach. So when if she put her arm out, she couldn't reach me, and I realized she wasn't gonna drop me and that she was actually kind of focused. I think that's when I realized that I could trust her.
Okay, that's so beautiful. Thank you for sharing. And I can totally imagine how that would require a lot of trust and courage to someone you just met. Now we're going to turn to Om, a KidSpirit contributor from India, and he's going to read his poem, Courage is a Fire That Burns Within, that was published on KidSpirit's issue on courage. Om, take it away.
Courage is a fire that burns within, a strength that helps us to begin, to face our fears and stand up tall, and rise above when we might fall. It gives us the power to face the unknown, to venture out into the world alone, to take a chance and chase our dreams, no matter how impossible it seems. Courage to help others is an even greater act of strength, to offer a hope and lend a hand at any length, to act selflessly without needing a cry for help, is a true sign of courage, of a heart that truly excels. Courage is not the absence of fear. It's the strength to face it loud and clear.
So kind of on a related note, in her Big Questions article for KidSpirit's issue on courage, Jaden makes the argument that we can build courage over time as we learn how to navigate difficult circumstances. So, and this can be true as we gain life experiences. What do you think about this? Do you have to build courage over time?
I think you can definitely build courage over time, and I think that once you know the drill or you know the consequences, it's going to be a lot easier to be bolder.
Yeah, totally. And Jack, how about you?
Yeah, I totally agree. I think courage, just like anything else, can be built up over time. It just takes some practice. There's so many things in life, like even just writing, you won't get it on your first try, but the more you try it, the better you'll get.
Oh my God, as someone who spent many years on the KidSpirit board, I can totally agree with that. It takes time and many, many drafts. Thank you for sharing. Now we're going to hear from Sybille, a KidSpirit alumna from Haiti. For KidSpirit's issue on courage, you participated in a Global Youth Voices project and had the chance to talk with another KidSpirit editor, Yana from Ukraine. Can you tell us a bit about that exchange and what was something that stuck with you from your experience with Yana?
Hi, my name is Sybille and I'm a 17-year-old writer and former contributor to KidSpirit. I'm originally from Haiti, but I'm currently studying at the University of Toronto and hoping to major in English and Peace, Conflict, and Justice and minor in creative writing. I've been involved with KidSpirit for about 2 years now, which has given me the opportunity to connect with so many incredibly talented and inspiring young people who have definitely helped shape my understanding of what it means to be courageous. Talking to Yana was such an amazing experience. Hearing her tell the story of what she had been through was heartbreaking, but then also hearing her talk about the courage that she managed to summon within herself to keep going was also really inspiring. Obviously, we've both lived through very different experiences in our respective places, but I also really found myself relating to what she had to say to me. And whenever I think about the current state of the world and all of these horrible conflicts and disasters that are raging, I remember that I'm not alone really in thinking that things have sort of been derailed. And I think that having other people to commiserate with and sort of being able to engage in meaningful conversations with such inspiring people like Yana really helps to build and sustain not only my courage, but also my hope for the future.
Carnegie Hall Kids is a free website where children ages 5 through 12 and their families can learn about music through fun games and quizzes. Check out fun quizzes like animal or instrument. In this quiz, you will hear a sound and you have to guess whether it's made by an animal or an instrument. Go to kids.carnegiehall.org and check out child-friendly games and quizzes.
Do you think that there can be different kinds of courage? So, like, for example, something I had to deal with in my life when I transferred colleges was coming to terms with the fact that I wanted to study very, very different things. But that was different than I think the time where I realized, oh, I wanted to start a club for women who wanted to learn how to weightlift in school. So what do you think about that, Satya?
I think to some extent courage is different, but I think that it's all made of the same things. Like, for example, the courage to stand up to a bully and the courage to, for example, try out for a basketball team is going to be different, but it's all courage. It's like different breeds of dogs, kind of. Like, they're all dogs, but they have different specialties and they look different.
Oh, yeah, but at the core, they may come from the same place. That's beautiful.
Thank
Yes.
you.
I think one type of courage that a lot of young people can relate to is the courage to stand up to peer pressure. So have either of you experienced that?
Yeah, when I was in 8th grade, near the end of the year, everybody had already gotten into high school. The grades were pretty much like determined, and it was after the school dance at night. I was hanging out and playing basketball with some of my friends, and some of them wanted to go down to the piers to like smoke and do like stuff like that. But I felt like it wasn't like the right thing to do in the situation, so I stayed with the people who were like not doing that.
Thanks for sharing, Jack. Is there a courageous person in your life who you look to as a role model?
I can't say that there's one person in particular, but definitely my parents together as a unit. My mom is originally from a small town in southern Ontario, but she grew up in Haiti. And my dad was born and raised in Rwanda. So, without going into too much detail, they've both definitely experienced different kinds of hardship in their formative years. And, growing up in Haiti, things have not always been peachy for my siblings and me either. So looking at the people that my parents are and the people that they have managed to become despite all that they've been through is really inspiring. Obviously, living in an unstable and dangerous environment can be traumatic. I also think, though, in some bizarre way, that it gives people an interesting perspective of the world and almost motivates them to be better and to work harder. I know that in my case, I certainly crave a brighter future. I want to see things get better, and I want to be a part of that change as much as I can be. And I know that these are values that have definitely been reinforced by my own experience, but that originally were passed down to me from my parents.
So I am curious, would you guys be willing to share an example of someone who you find courageous in your lives? Jack, would you like to start?
Sure. So my mom went back to school to be a school counselor, which she had always wanted to do when she was already a teacher at a different school. And it really took a lot of courage for her because a lot of the people at Hunter, that's the college she went back to, have been students there for so long. They have been practicing to do this their whole lives, younger, and they had been in school more recently, but it's what she wanted to do, so she had to find the courage to do that. And now that's what she's doing, and yeah, it made us all really proud of her.
That's awesome. Satya, how about you?
Sure. So my friend, she joined the debate team around the same time I did because she wanted to get better at public speaking. And in her very first tournament, she was so scared. And she was didn't know what to do, and she was just freezing up. And so she found a trick that worked for her, and actually she was really good at it. And in the next tournament, she actually won the Best Speaker Award in the tournament.
That's amazing.
Yes.
What was the trick?
I don't know. She won't tell us.
It's a secret.
It's
okay.
a secret.
Maybe for next time we'll figure it out. So thank you both for sharing. And thanks for joining me and talking about courage. I super appreciate it. It's been interesting to hear your thoughts on it. So thank you. We know some of the things we talked about today were serious and they were difficult. If you or someone you know needs help, please reach out to a trusted adult in your community. Thank you all for joining us today on Listen Up, the place to be for important conversations around life's big questions. And we want to hear from you. Email us at info@kidspiritonline.com, and we hope you join us next time. Bye, everyone.